So we might look around this world and we might see lots of suffering. In fact, we do see lots of suffering. Let's be honest, we can see lots of suffering in a lot of places. And we can look and we can think, well, if God is goodness, if God's source is goodness, then why the hell does God's source allow this to happen? But that is the truth. God's source is benevolent, is goodness, is absolutely unconditional love. And the reason why this is allowed to happen, well, it is complex, right? And I don't have all of the answers, but from what you might think, why are you making this video then? But I have some. But the reason is, right, we're in this false matrix. We live in this false matrix. What is a false matrix? Well, a matrix is merely a reality. It's a playground. A false matrix is where a matrix that was created, so the organic matrix, the way that God's source created the organic matrix, which was for man to live in harmony with the earth and with animals. It was for animals, the trees, the planet, humans, all to live in harmony with each other. Everything serves a purpose to make man's life amazing, bountiful, abundant, beautiful. The man form was created. When I say man, I mean the male and the female body. The human form, it was created so that our spirits could come in and have these amazing physical experiences, to enjoy paradise in a new way. Now, this organic matrix, these timelines that we exist upon, and we still exist in the organic matrix, there is still higher parts of our consciousness existing in different dimensions on the organic matrix. However, the timelines, well, they were infiltrated by a dark force, and this infiltration to the timelines allowed them to really take capture of certain planets and really create what is called like a prison planet. So when these timelines got infiltrated, when they infiltrated the timelines and managed to, and the way that they could do that, right, because this force cannot create creations, only the light, only God's source, the light, can create creations. However, that energy from the organic has been infiltrated and siphoned to create this inverted matrix. So the inverted matrix, the false matrix of suffering, of horror, it's fed by the energy of human beings. Human beings' life force is being harnessed through many technologies, mind control, frequencies, in order to keep this reality going. So what that means is that we've got the organic timelines and the inorganic timelines intertwining. So some might look around and say, okay, well, if God's source is benevolent and ever loving, then why doesn't God's source put a stop to this? And it is because to put a stop to it, to just stop all the inorganic timelines would mean stopping the organic timelines. It would impact all of the organic timelines, and it would be absolutely, I can't even say how devastating that would be to just stop all of creation. It's just not something that as beings of light that we are prepared to do, right? Because it's too much. So it's just destroying, it's not destroying the human race, it's just destroying everything, right? Because all these timelines are intertwined. So what we do instead is we come to mend. We come to detangle the inorganic from the organic. We come to bring light. So there's many beings on the planet right now that have come from many different dimensions, that are here on a divine mission. And if you're watching this video, it's likely that you are one of these people that are here on a divine mission to seed the light back into this inorganic template, to start shining a light on the inorganic timelines, to start dissolving them. Because as soon as we start shining a light on these false timelines, on these lies, on these manipulations, well, they start to dissolve. They start to dissolve, and what is there in its place is just the organic timelines. And we start to take back this inorganic infiltration. We take it back into the organic system. We restore it. We rehabilitate it back to its organic structure. So that is what we are here to do, to restore it back. So God's source is a benevolent source, and it loves all of its creations. We are all a part of God's source. We actually have to not see God source as something separate from ourselves, and that can be difficult due to the programming that we've been through, where it's put God outside of us and on a pedestal, and really God source, the totality of God source. If you think about this one massive energy field that actually then fractals out into all life forms, that creates creation itself, created creation, and sees itself within life forms. That is God source, and we are all one of those life forms of God source. So we are all connected to it. You could think of us as a cell of the God body. We are all a different cell. So we are not. It's like if you think about your body now, you wouldn't say that your finger you wouldn't see your finger as being separate from you. You'd see your finger as being a part of you and an important part of you as well. You wouldn't really want to be, I know people are without the fingers, right? But we wouldn't really want to be without. Everything on the body has a purpose. Everything in the body is intelligently designed. Everything in the body serves a purpose and adds to the whole. And that is the same what we are. We are all those cells of the God body. So we are all divine God source. We are all a part of that. Together we form that unity of God source. So in coming here, many of us are here right now to start reminding people, awakening people to the truth of who God source is, to the truth of who we are, and the power that we hold within us as we start to go in and do our inner work to really cleanse our bodies and our energy systems of all the inorganic timelines, of all the inorganic lies and deceptions. Then we naturally birth the organic self into the world. That starts to ripple out, and we naturally start to dissolve those inorganic timelines because they don't have the energy right. These inorganic timelines can only exist if there is an energy source feeding them, because they cannot be created. They can't be created by the forces that are being orchestrating the creation of those timelines, because they don't have the power to create, because they are disconnected from the light, and only light can create. It's why they take everything from the light and they invert it, they turn it upside down and inside out. So as we start to awaken and do our work, well, we light that up inside of us. We become the light. We become these pillars of light all over the globe, everywhere. Everyone that is doing this, everyone that is healing their body, that is going on that journey of the inner self to reawaken to the truth, you are dissolving the inorganic timelines in your own energy field, and that is rippling out into the collective. When the majority of the people are in this energy field, in this state, then the inorganic, it can't live anymore. So like I said, it needs energy. It needs to be fed by people like you and me. The only reason it's existed for this long is because we have been blinded to it and we have been feeding it. And energy can't exist unless another energy is feeding it. So as soon as we start to reawaken to our organic self, as soon as we do that work, then we become that light, we become that unconditional love, we become that benevolent force in the world. And a benevolent force in the world is never ever going to harm another. What is a benevolent force in the world going to do? Well, it's going to seed every single one of its creations with love. Everything's going to be seeded with an intention to help all of humanity. So rather than the intentions that are being seeded in most of our systems right now, which is really to keep that control system going. So I just wanted to make this little short video. I was just really guided because I've just done a session with a client, and today's session was where we talk about the divine family, and we talk about setting the record straight, about telling the true story about God, because God in the Bible has been created as this vengeful and merciful person, these two sides, right? And also, it's been, that picture has been painted that we've been put into hell because we're sinners, and that's not the truth. That's a lie. That's a manipulation that's been put there to make you feel small, to make you feel bad about yourself, to keep you trapped in a loop. That's not how God's source thinks about its creations at all. We are a part of God's source. It'd be like saying to your finger, like, oh, I hate this finger is so bad, and just like hating your finger. How would that serve you? It wouldn't serve you. God's source loves all of its creations. And like I say, right now, there's many of us that are here on mission, and our mission is to reawaken that truth, but it starts with ourselves. We can't do that. We can't go out there and shake people awake. It doesn't work like that. We have to wake up ourselves. We have to fill our light with that that unconditional love, that benevolent source. And we have to start being that unconditional. We have to start being that benevolent force in the world. Imagine what the world is going to be like when the majority of the world is filled with a benevolent force. It's going to absolutely change. We're going to be anchoring in the heaven on earth timeline, which is the timeline, is the organic timeline. That's the timeline that we're here to bring back into creation.